Good evening from the SVC newsroom. The news for this Friday, 17th of March. By the end of April next month, white shrimps from the Koitsivi farm will be available on the local market. The Island Development Company informed the local media on this during a visit to the newly renovated prawns farm. The visit coincided with the arrival of the second batch of 330,000 shrimps larvae. IDC says it is satisfied with the pace of the harvest, which has been in trial phase since December last year. Maritime forces from 12 countries in the East Africa region, Europe and North America have strengthened their capacity to enforce maritime law and security in the Western Indian Ocean through the Cutlass Express regional exercise held during the past 12 days. During the exercise's closing ceremony held at the Seychelles Coast Guard base at Ile Persévérance this morning, participants were awarded with certificates. Speaking during the ceremony, the Chief of the Seychelles Defense Forces, Brigadier Michael Rosette, thanked the U.S. Naval Forces Africa for its continued sponsorship and support to ensure the success and continuity of one of the biggest multilateral exercises in the region.
This exercise, which is now in its 12th edition, is not only an opportunity for our service members to be able to train and interact with regional and partner forces, but also for us to continue expressing our unwavering commitment to ensuring maritime safety and security to Seychelles and the greater Western Indian Ocean region. We appreciate that the US and partners continue to raise the bar each year and in turn allow participants to strive to improve their skills and knowledge, leading to better operational engagement at sea.
Two foreigners, a Nigerian and Nicaraguan men, have been sentenced by the Supreme Court for the importation of controlled drug cocaine. Patrick Ikechukwu Woma and a Nigerian living in the States was intercepted by police in November last year after arriving on an Ethiopian airline flight. A little more than 4.5 kilos of cocaine was discovered in his luggage. He has received a sentence of 30 years in prison. Another man, the Nicaraguan national, German Augusto Brooks Dixon, arrived from Dubai in October last year, and a little more than 4 kilos of cocaine was discovered in his luggage. During his interrogation, he admitted that he was jobless and cooperated with the police. He has been condemned to 5 years in prison. A Seychellois man is being judged in the same case. 8 registered fruit and vegetable vendors at Beauvallon have received their badges and T-shirts from the Enterprise Seychelles Agency ESSA. This was during a small ceremony organized by ESSA and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. The aim is to ensure that the vendors are regulated and operating in an ethical manner. The badge is for identification purposes, and they will need to wear the T-shirt as a uniform when carrying out business in that location. Amongst the regulations, they will need to keep the allocated area clean, a good level of hygiene must be kept at all times, and they must keep documents or receipts of goods as proof of purchase. A series of activities are being organized to commemorate the Vallée de Mai's 40th year anniversary as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Seychelles Island Foundation, SIF, officially launched the activities this afternoon, which will culminate until the 9th of December, the actual day the garden was inscribed.
Exactly next week, we will have an anti-poaching march that is going to take place, and we are inviting everybody to join us. That's really to make the noise and to make sure that we all understand that if we are poaching coco de mer, we are going to take now, but we are taking for the future as well. So that's the anti-poaching march. We will have public speaking competitions in schools. We will also have night safaris. So what we find is really important is the experience of the Vallée de Mai. So we will make sure that whoever is on Prala working in the tourism industry knows when they are saying the Vallée de Mai is a place you should visit, why a tourist should go there and visit, because they experienced it by themselves as well.
Representatives from the various religious groups met with prison service management at the service's headquarters to discuss their continued work as the first quarter of the year ends, with only a few weeks left. The first meeting this year, chaired by the Commissioner of Prison, Raymond Saint-Ange, provided an opportunity as well for Programme 1 coordinator under Project Phoenix Rehabilitation, Fred Laurence, to further brief those assembled. Mr. Saint-Ange also welcomed the presence and congratulated Father Yves, who was recently appointed the prison chaplain by Bishop Alain Harel. Today, the Roman Catholic Church, the Islamic Society of Seychelles, the Seventh-day Adventist, Pentecostal Church of Seychelles, and the Jehovah's Witnesses participate officially with the prison service religious and spiritual faith-based program. The Fisheries Transparency Initiative brought together a group of journalists to discuss their 2021 report, which was published in February this year. FITI works to increase public access to information regarding the fishing sector. The workshop was held in collaboration with the Danny For Foundation. Journalists from the SBC, Today in Seychelles, Nation, Seychelles News Agency, and the Seychelles Independent got a chance to go over the report with experts in the fishing sector and discuss topics such as sustainability and the enforcement in the fishing sector, amongst other topics.
We wanted to bring together a group of local journalists who are really important actors in terms of valorizing fisheries information and presenting it to the public for public consumption. And what we found is that despite the fact that FITI is now fairly well established in Seychelles, there's 3 annual reports which have now been produced, 3 transparency assessments. That information isn't necessarily kind of making its way into the wider public. So the journalists, the media here, being the kind of bringers of information, so to speak, it's very important that we have them on board. We make them aware of what FITI is all about, the types of data in the FITI reports, so that they can ultimately, do their jobs as efficiently as possible, which involves, making the public aware of developments in the fishing sector, asking questions about the government. Is the sector being managed?
And with this, we end this news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Next on SBC is the local production, La Cuisine, which will be followed by Paradise FM Chart Attack. Good evening.